Wait for the car. As soon as I start my anime video, bruh. Everybody wants to be in on it. It's all good. This week's episode of Black Clover. Black Clover. This was a heavy Noelle episode, which, funny enough, these characters of the Underwater Temple are always kind of the perfect ones to allow Noelle to shine much brighter than she normally does, especially when it comes down to her being needed by people in the case of, seeing it through in the grand scheme of what was angering or making the sea, this guardian of the sea, angry, or just on edge. But thanks to everything we kind of see with how she handles the situation and completely failing at one point to then bring it all back and actually do something, needed of her, it was cool to see that this is something else that gives us just that much more of a reason why it's actually not filler. I mean, to be fair, she could have done this protective bubble to everybody during, a bigger fight that's coming up soon. But instead, this episode goes ahead and shows us just what she's going to be capable of during that. And I think it's safe to say everybody in Black Clover, especially on the Black Bulls, have some of the most potential still kind of sitting, because they haven't all gotten to a point where Noelle, if it wasn't for her, 4 people may have straight up passed away because of her not controlling and having the circle, or like the bubble, to protect them all. So what does that do? It then makes it so she can do multiple bubbles because she pretty much failed them. So these are the types of things that actually blow my mind with the quality of character development, because I was just talking about last week's episode in my blog on Anime and Amimo with somebody, and we were talking about just like how much characteristics came out just because a side character showed up, right? Like, just because certain characters that make our main characters act differently, it was so much more entertaining just watching them interact with our characters than us just getting a training montage at that point, to the point where the episode is really fun. And this episode is good as well, but it has actually some of those elements of getting stronger, some of them elements of actually training for Noelle, because now that she's met this guardian, it's just one more place that she might be able to hold dear to her heart, thanks to maybe her mom actually of going here and having some kind of spiritual connection with the guardian of the sea. Because throughout all of this, for some reason, Noelle was getting like a sound that was kind of like calling out to her in some way, shape, or form. So it makes you wonder why this sound was reaching out to her out of all people, and when it was reaching out, was this the only thing it could truly show her and truly bring her at the end of the day, was just a little bit of a vision, or was that just something that she got as a bonus, and the whole water and the sound thing maybe was a direct connection to her spells and whatnot, and maybe all water users had like a little link to it? I don't know, but it's really cool to see these types of episodes where a whole bunch pops off and some stuff actually is going to continue to add to the story, add to a character's strength, add to a character's defense. Because if you didn't watch this and then she randomly just puts all these multiple bubbles around people to protect them from far range from herself, they're gonna be like, when did she learn how to do that? This show sucks. They're not able to explain anything. It's like, well, yeah, they actually did, but you decided to skip an episode and they showcase when she learned it how dire the situation was, who was saved by it, you know, like, it's pretty awesome. And they even fought a Kraken in this week's episode, man. So definitely missing out if you're not watching Black Clover thinking it's just filler and you can skip past it. Unlike Boruto, where it's actual filler most of the time, even in there, they're bringing out some stuff that I'm actually really interested in talking about, which is like Hashirama cells. So it just takes some interesting filler to actually catch people into the show again. And I think this one isn't filler because it gave us something that will be used probably throughout the rest of the show whenever is needed by Noelle. So there you go, another episode of filling in the gaps on Black Clover with first the fire guy who was about to get an ability against the elves, showing us just what that would have been, and now that he can use it he can use it for any battle that's going to come in the future, just like Noelle. So that's two characters that grew within these last two episodes. Well, last three episodes, only 2 episodes of them helped our characters grow. The second one was actually what you should call filler, which is fine by me because even that is a little bit of non-filler because it's helping us understand why a certain character might not act like a playboy anymore, and that's kind of his whole characteristic at this point. And if it's just gone all of a sudden, it's another thing. It's like, why isn't he hitting on every woman, or why does he have a woman now, right? Like, it's really cool. It's really small details, but they're getting into them nonetheless. So I hope you guys are having an amazing day, night, evening. If you're still watching right now, I did check out the Goblin Slayer, but it's like an hour long, so I'll probably watch some of it here and there at work. I've already watched like a little bit of it. Some of it was like a recap, but then it turned into a real like storytelling like movie thing. So I highly suggest you guys check it out. Let me know if it's any good. And on top of that, I will definitely do a little mini review or a review for the whole thing, depending on how well it is, or if it is just like a lot of catch up, which I think I could just pass the catch up and jump right into the good stuff. So with all that being said, look forward to another video at the end of the day at least of some Goblin Slayer, which should be fun. So I hope you guys are having a good one, and I'll definitely talk to you later. So with that being said, take care and peace.